want to say a quick hello to our guest. Thomas Vickers joins us. When you get to hear Thomas's story, you're going to be blown away. Thomas has been a client of ours for many years. He is a traveling physical therapist. He invests in real estate. His family has been investing in real estate for quite a number of years, and just some incredible insights to share with us all today. So Thomas, welcome to the show.
Hey man, I'm so excited to be here. I've been kind of stalking JWB since about 2014, but I didn't officially become a client until 2021, 2022. I can never keep track. It feels like it's been a while now because you guys are so awesome. But yeah, we're super excited to be here.
Thomas, who has these incredible success, has overcome so many obstacles, incredible things that have led to success. But you made a decision when you were getting into real estate that a lot of people make when it comes to building a rental property portfolio. You decided to self-manage, Thomas. You decided to manage your properties by yourself. Talk us through that, my friend.
Oh, geez. I know. Hopefully I'm preaching to the choir here at the JWB, community here, but self-managing is a lie. Again, Rich Dad Poor Dad is such a foundational book, and understanding this tension is something that between me and my mom that we have battled back and forth with for years. And really since 2017 until last year, she was not on board with property management. But because JWB is such a powerhouse, and we can even go through, there's been 3 like massive situations we've had with tenants and with properties this year that your team has gracefully resolved with zero stress to me. And it's money, or I can circle back to that at the end. But again, mindset shift. So Rich Dad Poor Dad. So the token question is, would you rather make $1,000 doing something, or would you rather make $100 doing nothing? The answer is always $100 doing nothing, because you can scale that 10 times without increasing your time commitment. And when you think about real estate, the whole point of real estate is to scale. Getting one property is great, but once you get a taste, you understand, okay, I got to keep doing this to compound those gains over time. And so you can't do it all yourself. If you fall for the lie that you're going to self-manage, you're going to build yourself a job, which is the opposite of what you're trying to do. One of my favorite quotes, I heard it a couple months ago. It said, poor people trade their time to save money, and wealthy people trade their money to save time. And I think that very succinctly puts, like, why should you hire a property manager? Just from like a philosophy mindset perspective. Now, of course, of the nitty gritty day to day, having a property manager reduces your stress as a landlord. So specifically for us, we shifted 3 of our properties into JWB over the course of a year and a half as the leases rolled up, and then we moved them in because we moved into the camper and went on the road. So I was going to be out of state, living in a camper. I don't know if I'm going to have cell service, Wi-Fi. I don't know where we're going to be. I don't know what my time commitments at my job are going to be. So I said, I literally cannot self-manage. That would be, again, risky. What's your tolerance for risk? That would be extremely risky. Something breaks, I'm unavailable. That'd be catastrophic. So that's why we rolled our properties into JWB. So I could go out and I could do my healthcare job, 40-hour work week, to make a good income. And then in the background, have these assets, benefiting me. For the people that say, hey, I want to keep more cash flow. I don't want to pay 10% a month. I don't want to lose my tenant placement fee, all those kinds of things. You guys preach it here, but short-term pricing and cash flow of your 5 profit centers, short-term pricing and cash flow are low on the totem pole because you're shooting for the long-term gains from appreciation. We already touched on that. So the people that are trying to fall for the trap, I'm going to save $100 a month. It's like, who cares? Okay, that's $1,200 a year over 10 years, 10 grand. Your appreciation, you should get that much appreciation in 1 or 2 years, to buy it back. So that's number 1. Number 2 is pricing for rent. So pricing for rent is super, super important, because if you move so you have a house, $1,000 a month in rent, and you think it can rent for $1,100. Simple numbers, it's not realistic. Please don't burn me in the chat. But you're cash flowing $100, right? Okay, so if the actual market rent is $1,200 and you increase the rent to $1,200, you say, okay, I'm moving it from $1,100 to $1,200. I'm gaining $100 a month, or I'm increasing it, 9% or whatever. That's not correct. You're doubling your cash flow from $100 a month to $200 a month. So it's a 100% gain on your cash flow. So by having JWB, you guys have, you know, if I'm rounding, you guys have close to 4 million properties in Jacksonville, right? So you're over 5,000. Are you at 6 yet?
We're close. We're close.
Yeah. So
We should be pretty close by the end of the year. Close to 6,000.
yeah. So by having close to 6,000 doors in Jacksonville's huge. You guys have such good data on if we price it here, it's going to rent for this. This is how long and you guys have a waiting list of tenants and you guys screen tenants, you have your 2-year leases. So you guys having that data that with one house, I don't have. I don't have any market projections off of one house. So you guys have huge advantage, you know, in that sense. And then furthermore is vacancy. Nothing kills your returns faster than vacancy. So if you price a house too high and it sits 45, 60, 65 days, you're burning 8, 16, 15% of your profit, you know, because it's vacant. Whereas you put it with JWB, they price it right. They have a waiting list of tenants. They market the heck out of it and you get a tenant, you know, I know last year, I think your average market to lease signing was like 14 days and then move in was like 21. I think it bumped up to like 40 days, something like that. I know you have all the numbers, but 40 days or less from market to move in is, I mean, that's phenomenal. That keeps more money in your pocket.
It's all about driving the value. I just keep saying to myself, everything that you're saying, it comes down to value. And when people can make decisions based on value rather than price, they're going to be in a better position. The challenge is people ask price first. So, you know, and they don't understand value many times until it's too late when they made a decision solely on price and didn't get the value. But let's talk openly. You had the chance to I'm sure, interview or make the decision to go with a number of other property management companies in Jacksonville.
We just hired you straight up.
Oh, you did? Well, all right. Well, then that kills my question. But if you did, what you would find out is that others charge less for a tenant placement fee. Some charge significantly less for a monthly management fee. What was it about us that you didn't even have to ask those other questions and, you know, made you see the value in a JWB relationship over the alternative?
Yeah. So initially, obviously we first, you know, got exposed to you guys back in 2014. So I kind of been following along with, you know, the different podcast shows. You guys have presentations, you know, at JaxREA and stuff like that. And so I knew what you guys were doing. And the thing that really sold me was you said, when I was watching it, we'd already moved into the camper. So it must've been in 2020, end of 2021, maybe. You guys had gotten the question. I think you guys were kind of at a fork in the road. Are you guys going to add more markets or are you going to stay in Jacksonville? And you said, no, we're going to pick one market and go super deep. And we're just committed to Jacksonville and the vision of Jacksonville. And we're just going to like focus on Jacksonville. And I said, sold. Having focus and discipline as a business is something that is important to me. And so you guys being local, being focused on just one market. And then the way you guys structure your team, you leverage technology in a way that is phenomenal with the Salesforce and all the technology you guys use. So that when I call JWB, even if my portfolio manager, it's Caitlin, we love Caitlin. She's incredible, has walked us through some scary stuff. But even if Caitlin's unavailable, anyone on the team can log into our properties and give us the scoop of you know, whatever the issue is. And I love that. It is super, super helpful for like day-to-day operations stuff.
What a joy to just hear you speak, Thomas. It's really awesome. When I think about the type of relationship we want to have with the client, you know, this is it. And we got to see something just in the same vein with Aaron O'Neill, who was here last Thursday, and all of our guest investors. You guys get to see this. This is not just a transaction when we get to bring a client on board. It's so much more than that. It's that relationship. And we hope to serve our clients for decades. And this is what it looks like and feels like to serve a client, you know, hopefully for decades here. All right, I want to take it down.
So just piggybacking on that. Sorry, last thing to add, just piggybacking on that of just like real estate is a long game. Your property manager should also be a long game. So you don't want a property manager that you're worried in 5 years is going to go out of business. Clearly you guys are established, you're growing, you guys are doing amazing things. So that like it's like getting married. It's like a relationship that we're building this together over, a long time. Just circling back to those personal touches and how you treat clients. We just had our new baby girl. She's 6 weeks old. She was born 4 weeks early. I was in the NICU for 26 days. And Caitlin, we were dealing with some other stuff. And so I was sharing with her what was going on. And just out of a, kind gesture at JWB, they sent us a DoorDash gift card to help us get meals while our daughter was in the hospital. And that was like super, super awesome. Like we've really, really, really appreciated that. We're not just a number on a spreadsheet, that even though you guys have, close to $4 million now, that that you guys are really trying to have that personal relationship with each and every client. And so I really hope, I hope everybody, I'm sure everyone's having that same experience.
Thank you for sharing that. That's a credit to Caitlin. Caitlin on our team, and everybody on our team, we're trained to seek out those opportunities. We call them moments of truth, right? When you have the opportunity to do something really special for somebody that may be in a time of need, and maybe in a time that something needs to be celebrated. But as a business, you don't have to be perfect, but if you could just look for those moments of truth and just do something, even if it's relatively small, to show that you care beyond just whatever the transaction is. I mean, those are the things that people talk about, and that's how you get, referrals, and that's how you get repeat business. And, people tend to think building a business is a super complicated thing, which parts of it are, but some of it are so simple. It's just like looking for an opportunity to make somebody's day, and then just doing that and training and bringing great people on, just like Caitlin, who think that same way. So I'm really glad that she saw that opportunity for you, and that, of course, it helps to reinforce how much we care about you and your family.
Yeah, man. I was blown away. I was like, man, this is amazing. So big fan.
Yeah.
And then, so just to a little bit of like nitty gritty, it's not all sunshine and roses being a landlord. You don't just buy a house and then you're a millionaire and, in the Bahamas. So we had some, kind of big issues with our tenants and properties this year that JWB has beautifully handled. Number one, on the Bonaparte house that my parents had since 2009, with them property management, and the tenant started to fall behind on payments, and then they got the 3-day notice, and then they paid, then they were caught up, and then they stopped paying. And so we were and then we officially had to file an eviction on the tenant, which sucks. You guys have a super low eviction rate. I think it was like 3% even during COVID.
Right.
Your guys' rent collected and your eviction rate is insanely low. And so I was like, oh no, I don't want to ding their numbers. Let's get this good. And so we had really good communication between the team and the tenant, between me and the team, of kind of the situation. And the eviction process is very, very litigious. And there's very, very, very specific steps you have to follow, or you as the landlord are going to be in the hot seat. So a lot of people say, oh, I'm just going to go over there and like change the locks. And it's like, oh my gosh, no, you absolutely, even though Florida is very landlord friendly, if you don't pay, you don't stay, but there's a lot of steps. And if you don't have an experienced property manager that's done this a lot of times, like, you are opening yourself up again to a lot of risk. And so they were able to follow the steps, keep me informed. And then, at the last minute, the tenant paid up all their dues. So they couldn't afford a $2,000 a month rent, but then they suddenly paid like $7,000 to get everything current. So it's kind of a weird situation, but that was the power of having a good property manager that knew the correct steps and made sure there's no time delay. Because if they had waited 1 month to file the eviction papers, well, then that kicks the can down another month that I'm losing rent to pay the mortgage. So that swift action was just like perfect. The second one, we had a shipping container at a rental property. The city cited us, and JWB, they do a lot of new construction. So you guys are best friends with the city inspectors and permit people. And so you guys were able to figure that out, get the shipping container removed. And, I didn't get any fines or anything. That was super helpful. And then we just had a tenant move out with no warning. They called and said, hey, we're out of the house, which is pretty crazy. And so we had to do a turn on the property, and JWB sent me an estimate. I approved it over email, made my contribution, and you guys had it turned and back on market in 7 days, which was freaking nuts. Y'all painted the whole house and did the yard. And so, so those three things were like more like nitty gritty. This is what a property manager does.